The Paris 2024 Paralympic Games are almost upon us. The opening ceremony just a few minutes away. More than 4,000 athletes have come to compete in nearly 550 medal events. The Champs-Élysées and the Place de la Concorde stand ready to host a welcome unlike any other. I'm Steve Rebillard alongside Lisa O'Sullivan and Paralympian Rob Snook. We sense France will not waste this moment to create history and push for change.
Welcome to Golden Hour. In the heart of Paris, one of the most beautiful cities in the world, a late summer evening awaits, the shadows beginning to lengthen, and the City of Light is ready to take centre stage. This is Paris 2024 Part 2. There have been some incredible opening ceremonies for the Paralympics, but let's face it, artistic teams have struggled to disguise the dull, functional grey concrete on the inside of stadiums. Artistic director of this ceremony, Alexander Ekman, really has been given the most incredible canvas to work with. The weather's nice. We've got tens of thousands of people lining the street ready to play their part in this historic event.
You know, very early in my career in Paralympic sport, I competed in France. We're talking way back in 1990, and I still remember how incredibly well they supported the athletes with a disability. Just as we came in the stadium, and I know they will support these games. For starters, we know that over 2 million tickets have been sold, and most purchased by French citizens. I can't wait.
Yes, tonight we'll be reminded of where we've come from and perhaps where we need to go to accept, understand and embrace people with disability. To that end, this evening's ceremony will send out several powerful messages, especially one which calls for inclusivity in society at all levels. Sport will play its part over the next 10 days, showing a way forward. The challenging truth is that all parts of society need to follow that path.
During the Olympic Games here just a few weeks ago, I couldn't help but notice the crossover between the two games, and I made a comment out loud that I think it was more Paralympic exposure that I'd ever seen during the Olympic Games, and that was a very good sign. You know, Barcelona, Sydney, London were past games that really advanced the cause of Paralympic sport, and now it is clearly the turn of France, the turn and the time to really be the games wide open.
It's way past time we made simple changes to create a better local environment, one that's more inclusive, more accessible, better for everyone. Sports fans know how it brings desperate and disparate groups together and how it's often the catalyst for a different way of perceiving and of doing things.
So a huge crowd anticipating what's about to unfold here. An all singing, all dancing assault on the senses against a cultural and architectural backdrop that no other city can match. Genuine excitement around the city, around the country, around the world as Paralympics are about to begin. 3,000-year-old obelisk standing prominent. Lots to happen around that this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen,
shaping up as a perfect night for it as well. It's been hot during the day, it's cooling down. A beautiful sunset coming, timed to coincide with the entry of the athletes. It's just moments away. We do hope you enjoy the ceremony.
Je suis complètement perdu en fait.
Vous allez regarder ces images tout et me dire ce que vous voyez.
C'est une mascotte? Pourquoi je vois une mascotte? C'est encore une mascotte?
Encore une mascotte?
Oui.
Théo. Quoi? Et si vous libériez cette mascotte qui est en vous?
Je crois que j'ai compris. Je vais être le taxi des Jeux Paralympiques de Paris 2024. Elle est prête.
Centrale pour Théo, on a des athlètes paralympiques à récupérer, tu peux t'en charger s'il te plaît?
Hello, comment ça va?
Salut, ça va et toi?
Tu ressens quoi en fait là avant de participer à ces Jeux?
Bah jamais j'aurais pensé faire ça.
Ouais.
Et j'y suis quoi.
C'est énorme. Hein.
Ouais, c'est énorme.
C'est porteur, c'est encourageant et on sent qu'il y a une émulation dans le pays.
Qu'est-ce que je peux te souhaiter?
Pas de belles émotions, un beau souvenir qui brille bien.
J'ai trop d'y être. Puis là en plus dans cette voiture avec les petites peluches partout, j'avoue que ça me fait un truc. On a envie de faire vivre à un maximum de personnes ce qu'on vit au quotidien. Que le principal c'est pas de participer, c'est de se surpasser.
On a la chance de pouvoir faire de la compétition dans un musée à ciel ouvert, nous, en triathlon. Donc les images vont être magnifiques. Et les Jeux Paralympiques à la maison, tu les sens comment, toi?
Ça va être un moment exceptionnel. C'est un truc que je pense qu'on ne revivra pas deux fois.
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut te souhaiter pour ces Jeux à la maison?
La réussite, des émotions et que les gens retiennent en fait que c'était des Jeux juste incroyables et qu'ils aient encore envie de regarder du parasport à la télé et de plus en plus.
Tu vas aller chercher cette médaille d'or aux Jeux de Paris 2024?
Oui.
Où?
Chez nous.
Où ça?
À la maison.
Et
au Stade de France.
Au Stade de France.
Chez nous.
J'avais pas vu l'heure, mais je vais être en retard, moi.
Ce soir, c'est la cérémonie d'ouverture des Jeux Paralympiques. 65 000 personnes sont attendues.
Oh là 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 là. Pas de stress, pas de stress. T'as qu'une phrase à sortir, Théo, t'as qu'une phrase. Alors on se concentre. Welcome to Paris. 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 Allez, c'est bon. Tu l'as. Ça va le faire.
Mesdames et messieurs, le président de la République française, Emmanuel Macron, accompagné du président du Comité international paralympique, Andrew Parsons.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron, accompanied by the President of the International Paralympic Committee, Andrew Parsons.
The first cultural and creative segment tonight opens the theme of paradoxes, leading us from discord to concord. Artist Chili Gonzalez will be at the piano. We'll focus throughout the evening on two groups, the creative gang and the strict society, who approach life with different views about people living with disabilities.
The theme is paradox, discord and concord. And it's a theme that's going to run through the whole of the ceremony. And let's address the paradox of an Egyptian obelisk in the centre of a modern television spectacular. The Luxor obelisk was created in the 13th century BCE. It's the oldest monument in Paris. And it's going to be centre stage as we see the beginning of this performance. We're going to see a journey from misunderstanding to mutual respect. We have our creative gang ready to express themselves in every way. And we've got those in the suits, the strict society. This story is just going to unfold throughout the evening. Now we welcome to the stage the French artist Christine and the Queens.
monochrome silhouettes of strict society are symbolising rigidity. The more colourful and festive garments of the creative gang represent freedom. Joining the party early, the French precision aerobatics team, Stade de France.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir les athlètes des Jeux Paralympiques de Paris 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the athletes of the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games.
Well, it's the first time in the history of the Paralympic Games that the opening ceremony is taking place outside the stadium. It's in the heart of the host city, and the teams will be coming in according to protocol. And that is in French alphabetical order, with a little few differences at the end. A glorious shot up the Champs-Élysées, then Arc de Triomphe in the distance. A lot of excitement there. And as the athletes come in at the foot of the obelisk with that glorious tricolour trailing across the stage, we have the French DJ Midi ready to spin some tunes and keep the athletes on the move. They will be taking their place in the arena.
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
And first is Afghanistan. Fighter Ibrahim Danish, 23 years old, the sole representative for his country, will be competing in the para-taekwondo. It's only the second time the sport will be contested at the Paralympic Games. .23 years old and carrying the flag of his country.
Afrique du Sud.
South Africa.
Republic of South Africa has nominated 32 athletes to compete here in Paris, featuring in 9 different sports. From Malolo Malongo and Kat Swanepoel from para-athletics and para-swimming are the flag bearers. The most successful Paralympian ever is the recently retired swimmer Natalie Dutoit. 13 gold medals.
Algeria.
The North African nation of Algeria has a team of 18 athletes in Paris. Historically, most of their medals have come in athletics. Their flag bearers, Safia Jalal, is a thrower in her 6th Paralympic Games. She's won gold twice. She made her international debut at the World Championships in France 22 years ago. The other flag bearers, Mohamed Barlal, will race and throw in the sport of athletics. He has won 3 Paralympic medals. Algeria makes its way into the opening ceremony.
Allemagne.
Germany has a strong contingent of 143 athletes, although their return of medals in Tokyo was lower than they expected. They finished 12th on the medal table, so they'll be chasing better results in 2024. If there's one person who carries more expectation than most, it's Marcus Rem. He's looking to stretch his gold medal winning long jump record to a 4th consecutive Games. They'll have 27 competing in the para-athletics, 12 swimmers, teams in the wheelchair basketball, sitting volleyball and wheelchair rugby.
And for those of us who wear prosthetics, we appreciate all the work that Germany has done over the years in advancing that cause. Strong in wheelchair basketball as well. Both men and women have qualified for the tournament, which is hard to do in team sports. People don't realize how hard it is to qualify.
Angola.
Angola's delegation once again made up solely of para-athletes, as it has been for every edition since 1996. Juliana Nle Monko, 24 years old, will be competing in the T11 sprints. She returns after taking part in Tokyo. And alongside her guide runner, Abrao Abru Sapalo, who will be assisting her in her bid for Paralympic success.
Arabie Saoudite.
Saudi Arabia.
The team from Saudi Arabia has 9 athletes in Paris competing in athletics, equestrian, powerlifting, table tennis and taekwondo. The flag bearers, Galia Alanatsi from table tennis, one of only 2 women on the Saudi team. She says a friend encouraged her to try sport. That started as an experiment, turned out to be the most beautiful coincidence. Abdulrahim Al-Qarashi from athletics, first Saudi athlete to win a Paralympic medal on the track, a bronze in Tokyo. He's a contender in the 100 meters.
Argentina has a proud record of having competed in all the Paralympic Games. This time around, they brought 68 competitors, 19 of them in para-athletics, 12 in swimming. Unsurprisingly, they'll be represented in blind football. They picked up silver in that sport in Tokyo. Argentina's only Paralympic gold medal since 1996 came via sprinter Yanina Andrea Martinez, who triumphed in the women's T36 100 at the Rio Games.
Armenia.
A small but talented delegation from Armenia. Greta Vardanya blowing us a kiss there. She becomes the first Armenian to compete at 4 Paralympic Games. T54 sprinter and Sumbat Karapetan also classified in para-Nordic skiing and para-ice hockey. And Sargis Stepanyan is alongside them. He'll be competing in the shot put. He's also represented Armenia in arm wrestling.
Aruba.
The tiny but picturesque island nation in the Caribbean with a population of just over 100,000, making its third Paralympic Games appearance. And for the second Games in a row, there he is. Elliot Loonstra will be the only athlete competing. He was a bronze medalist in Taekwondo at the Pan Am Games last year in Chile.
Austria.
Like Argentina, Austria has competed at every edition of the Paralympic Games. Most of their medals coming in table tennis, athletics and swimming. They'll have 24 athletes involved in Paris competition. Their contingent includes Natalia Ida, two-time bronze medalist in the F13 javelin. Flag bearers Henriette Couche from para-badminton and Peppo from para-equestrian.
Azerbaijan.
Well, Limina Valieva is the women's T13 400-meter champion from Tokyo. She also won silver in the T13 100 meters. And Imadine Kharkov in his second Paralympic Games, fighting for a medal in para-judo. Azerbaijan won a massive 14 gold medals at the 2020 Games, with judokas topping their sports medal table, 6 of them taking home a gold medal.
Bahrain, the island nation on the Persian Gulf. 2 competitors in Paris, both in athletics. The flag bearer, Zaruba Alomari, in her third Games, was a bronze medalist in javelin at last year's Asian Games. And Hussein Mohammed, who was 4th in the 400 meters at this year's World Championships in Japan.
Bangladesh making a welcome return to the Paralympics after sending 1 athlete to the Games in both Athens and Beijing. In 2024, they'll be represented by Joma Akhtar and Al-Amin Hossain, both in para-archery.
Barbados.
That's Antoine Boyce-Vaughan, once again the sole competitor to represent Barbados at these Paralympic Games. He became the youngest and only 3rd ever Paralympian to represent his country when he competed in the men's S950 meters freestyle event in Tokyo 2020.
Belgium.
Athletes from Belgium have competed in every edition of the Paralympic Games since 1960. Wheelchair tennis player Joachim Gerard, who has won at Wimbledon, the US Open, the Australian Open, and in doubles here at Roland-Garros, one of the flag bearers. The other is Manon Cléas, who won 2 bronze medals in equestrian in Tokyo, names her teammate Michelle George as a major influence. And George is in the team as well. Most prolific medal winner for Belgium, 5 Paralympic golds in equestrian.
Benin, the French-speaking African country, has 2 athletes at these Games. Both Faisal Achiba and Marina Udalawan are backing up from representing their country in para-athletics in Tokyo.
Bermuda.
What else but Bermuda? Shorts for Bermuda. Jessica Cooper-Lewis is becoming the first Bermudan to compete at 4 editions of the Paralympic Games. Tokyo, she was the only competitor, came close to an historic place on the podium, finished 4th in the women's 100 meters T53, and that's BC Boccia 1 player Yeshua Andrade, who also took part in Rio, was flag bearer for Bermuda at the Pan American Games in Santiago.
Bhutan, the South Asian nation located in the eastern Himalayas, sent 3 athletes to Tokyo in their Paralympic debut. Just one made the Paris team, though. The flag bearer, there she is, Kinley Dem from the sport of shooting, the 30-year-old who is coached by her sister, and she competed at the Asian Games last year. I'm going to guess that's her sister.
Bosnia and Herzegovina.
A team of 14 for Bosnia and Herzegovina, 12 of whom are in their sitting volleyball team. Indeed, all 6 of the nation's Paralympic medals have come in men's sitting volleyball. The team reached the final at 5 games in a row from 2000 to 2016, winning 2 gold in 04 and 12, and 3 silver medals in that time.
Explains their size.
Botswana.
Edwin Masuge and Gloria Majaga will be on the track at the Stade de France, both 400-metre T13 para-athletes. Just the 1 gold medal for Botswana, who won it in 2004, their very first Paralympian. Tshilego Morama won the women's 400 metres T46 in Athens when she was just 17 years old.
Brazil.
Elizabeth Rodriguez Gomez and Gabriel dos Santos Araujo are the flag bearers. A 53 discus gold medalist is Elizabeth from Tokyo, and Gabriel picked up 2 gold and a silver in para-swimming 3 years ago.
Brazil's men's goalball team took gold in Tokyo. In fact, has been on the podium at the last 3 Paralympic Games. And Bruna Alexandra will play table tennis here in Paris again. Again, I say, because she was on the Brazilian Olympic team this year as well. She is a 4-time Paralympic medalist. Always a strong team from Brazil.
Football 5-a-side. The Brazilian team has dominated Paralympic competition, winning all 5 gold medals since the sport's introduction in 2004. Most recently, they defeated Argentina in the final in Tokyo.
There's a samba mood to the team, isn't there?
And who wouldn't want one of those bucket hats?
They'll be collector's items by the end of the games. Mitty is famous for his sunny tunes. You can see the Paralympians absolutely loving the music.
Bulgaria.
Just 1 athlete on the Bulgarian team. It's the flag bearer, 49-year-old Stella Aniva. In fact, just 1 flag bearer on the Bulgarian team is Stella Aniva from athletics, who is back on the team after a 12-year hiatus. She won medals in throwing events in Beijing and in London. She has a degree in coaching and founded an athletics club for people with disabilities in her home city. Bulgaria has won a total of 17 medals since its debut in 1988. In fact, there are 3 athletes from Bulgaria.
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso being represented at Paris 2024 by Rahina-Toe Monet, the 21-year-old anthropology student making her Paralympics debut. She's going to be competing in the 100 metres T13. Burkina Faso first competed at the Games in Barcelona in 1992.
Burundi.
A nation of 13 million citizens located in East Africa, Burundi. 2 competitors in Paris. The flag bearer, 2nd-time Paralympian Adeline Musharanzigo, the 22-year-old in her 2nd Paralympic Games. And flag bearer, 5-time Paralympian Remy Nikobamezi, who will race in the 1,500 meters.
Heidelina Oliveira set to run in the women's T12 sprints. And Maricen Fernandez-Semedo ready to throw again in the men's F57 javelin. He's the 3rd Cape Verdean to make at least 2 Games appearances.
Cambodia.
Well, at their first Paralympic Games in Sydney, Cambodia entered the men's standing volleyball, the only time they've sent a team. And this is 38-year-old Van Fun, who will be competing in the 100 metres T54.
Cameroon made its Paralympic debut at the 2012 Games. In 2024, they have 5 competitors, 2 each in para-athletics and taekwondo. One of their flag bearers, the ominously named Marie-Antoinette Dassy from para-taekwondo.
Not a great place to be, the Place de la Concorde.
Canada.
Canada, an early pioneer nation in Paralympic sport. The flag bearers on the left is Patrick Anderson, maybe the greatest wheelchair basketball player ever. And he is back for his 6th Paralympic Games, joined by veteran swimmer Katarina Roxen, the proud Newfoundlander who has a section of the highway, there she is on the right, named after her near her hometown of Kippens, Canada. Big team, 128, including swimmer Aurélie Rivard, who has 10 medals, and wheelchair racing star Brent Lakatos, who has 11. Danielle Ellis is the captain of the #1 ranked sitting volleyball team in the world. Past heroes for Canada, names like Arnold Bolt, Stephanie Dixon in the pool, Chantal Petitclerc on the track. Canada's qualified teams in men's and women's wheelchair basketball and in rugby and goalball as well.
République centrafricaine.
Central African Republic.
Just the 2 athletes representing the Central African Republic, but it's the second Games for Veronica Ndakara, who was her country's flag bearer in Tokyo. She competes in the F41 shot put. Teammate Louisette Komoto is in taekwondo.
Got the beat. Chile, a steadily improving Paralympic nation, and Chile had never won more than 1 medal at a Games until Tokyo, when they piled up 6, and since proudly and ably hosted the Pan American and Para-Pan American Games last year in Santiago. Did a brilliant job. Both of this year's flag bearers in Paris won double gold at those Games. Camilo Campos in powerlifting and Francisco Kayolov in wheelchair tennis. A good, strong, hearty team from Chile.
République populaire de Chine.
People's Republic of China.
Medal table toppers in Tokyo, with the largest delegation at the Games, 290 competitors preparing to pull on their uniform for the People's Republic of China. And with 96 champions in Tokyo, competition must have been fierce for the honour to carry that flag. Well, it's gone to double Paralympic gold medalist Gu Haiyan, who won the women's individual and team foil wheelchair fencing in Tokyo, and Ki Yong Kai in the Tokyo 2020 men's under 59 kilo powerlifting. He was the champion. China has topped the medal table with more gold medals, more silver medals, and more medals overall than any other nation in the last 5 editions of the Summer Paralympics.
Ever since Beijing was on the horizon, they have just become a dominant Paralympic nation.
So one of the greatest Chinese Paralympians remains Zhu Jing, a doctor who happened to be a para-athlete, introduced him to swimming. S6 was his classification, which includes swimmers like himself who have no arms. He won 3 titles and a bronze medal in Beijing, but finished with 11 Paralympic medals, including 10 gold by the time he was done.
Chinese team made history in Tokyo when they stood on the podium in wheelchair basketball. The women's team were silver medalists in that tournament.
Cyprus has competed at every Paralympic Games since they made their debut in 1988. Swimmer Carolina Pelendritou has competed at every Games since Athens and has won 6 of Cyprus's 8 medals, including all 3 of their gold medals. She's back once more at the age of 38 at her 6th Games.
Colombia.
A 78 athlete strong team from Colombia piled up 24 medals in Tokyo. I love the jackets, just love them. Carrying the flag is Paula Osso. Cycling, she's won Para-Pan Am gold and World Championship silver. And we saw Daniel Serrano, the dynamite swimmer, with 2 Paralympic golds and 12, yes, a full dozen World Championship gold medals. You can see why he's grooving there. Swimmer Sarah Vargas is back as well, her 2nd Paralympic Games. She was only 14 in Tokyo, now a favorite. She's won 2 World Championship golds since Tokyo.
Congo.
Mireille Nganga also getting down, 48 years old, making her Games debut. Served as a member of the Paralympic Committee of Congo. She's going to be competing the shot put 50 F57, the javelin F56, and that's Emmanuel Grace Muambako, who went to Tokyo but didn't start in the 100 metres T11. 3rd appearance at the Games for Congo, having made its debut in Rio. It's a good evening to dance.
République démocratique du Congo.
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Pauline Mayombo Makendi is appearing at his 2nd Games, having taken up para-athletics in his early 30s. He and fellow competitor Nancy Nsangasala are both in the F57 class for the Democratic Republic of Congo.
République de Corée.
Republic of Korea.
Korea, the host nation of the 1988 Seoul Paralympic Games. First time the Games were officially called the Paralympic Games. Also Korea's zenith in terms of podium prowess. They won 40 gold medals at those Games. This year's flag bearer Choi Hyung-byum from para-canoe, former paddler in non-Paralympic sport, then lost his arm in a car accident and he was back paddling again just 10 months later. Korea's most medals have been won in table tennis, and they have brought 17 athletes in that sport alone to Paris.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Well, you wait a long time for a medal, and Costa Rica won its first Paralympic medal in Tokyo nearly 30 years after its first appearance at the Games in Barcelona of 1992. That is Andres Molina. He's going to be competing in the para taekwondo. Came close to the podium in Tokyo but lost his bronze medal match. Maria del Pilar Riveros makes her Paralympic Games debut, having been named flag bearer. She's 48 and an accountant by trade, but after waiting 30 years for a medal, Costa Rica got 2, courtesy of Sherman Guiti.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire.
Côte d'Ivoire will be represented by 3 athletes in para-athletics, powerlifting and taekwondo. The country made its debut in Atlanta 1996. Adu Arno came 5th in his powerlifting event in Tokyo. He's here again chasing a top 3 finish and is their flag bearer.
Croatie.
Croatia.
Croatia first appeared at Paralympic Games in 1992. Since then, 26 medals, 5 of them gold. The flag bearers, Dino Sinovic, took a bronze in the pool in Tokyo, is twice a world champion. And Andela Muzinic-Vincic from table tennis, she says she does 4 training sessions a day. She's a 2-time European champion, no surprise, and a 2-time Paralympic medalist. Among her many awards, she and her doubles partner Helena were named the Croatian best team for the first 20 years of this century.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Well, look at that. That's a legend right there, Omara Durand, a truly remarkable sprinter, unbeaten at the Paralympic Games since Beijing 2008. 100, 200 and 400 metre titles abound. She's got 8 Paralympic gold medals. She won 2 in London 2012, not knowing she was pregnant. She's been world champion 14 times. If there's one athlete you must tune into and watch and cover at these games, I urge you to witness this great woman's sporting prowess. Alongside her, Robiel Sol Cervantes, only 21, but comes to Paris to defend his long jump T47 title from Tokyo, 7 metres 46, by the way. He's also a 2-time world champion and won the Pan American Games crown in Chile.
Denmark.
Denmark.
12 of Denmark's 32 competitors comprise their wheelchair rugby team. Although the only team sport medals won by Denmark have actually come in goalball. Peter Rosenmeier, a 2-time gold medalist in table tennis, is appearing at his 6th Paralympic Games. And for Denmark, Tobias Jorgensen and Katrine Christensen, both in para-equestrian, are the flag bearers.
République Dominicaine.
Dominican Republic.
11 athletes in Paris from the Dominican Republic. The nation's been competing at Paralympic Games since Barcelona '92. The flag bearers, Darlene de la Cruz Severino, will race in athletics. She took a gold and a silver at the World Championships in Japan this year. The other flag bearer is 35-year-old father of 2, Jesus Manuel Rodriguez Falleo from powerlifting.
Egypt is the 2nd most successful African nation at the Paralympic Games, behind South Africa, both in terms of gold medals and total medals. 12 of Egypt's 54 athletes this year are competing in powerlifting, a sport in which Egypt won 6 of their 7 medals in Tokyo. They will also be fielding strong teams in sitting volleyball and goalball. Rehab Ahmed and Ali Elzieni from powerlifting and rowing are their flag bearers.
What a glorious sight.
And the weather cooperating beautifully.
El Salvador.
El Salvador.
There's a man who knows the routine, Herbert Asiutuno. He is on flag duty for the 3rd time at a Paralympic Games. Until Tokyo 2020, no Salvadoran had won a Paralympic medal, and he picked up the bronze in powerlifting in the 59-kilo category. He's the only Salvadoran athlete to have competed at more than one edition of the Games. 21-year-old Rebecca Duarte will be competing in the boccia on her debut.
Émirats Arabes Unis.
United Arab Emirates.
13 athletes from the United Arab Emirates. 6 are women. The flag bearer, Mariam Al-Zayudi, gold in shot put at the World Championships. Also, Ahmed Abdelwawi from cycling. He will race in the time trial and the pursuit races, as well as the road race. He'll be busy.
Équateur.
Ecuador.
11 of Ecuador's 14 athletes will be competing in para-athletics, the sport which yielded the country's first Paralympic medals in Tokyo 3 years ago. They won gold and bronze in the women's F20 shot put. Ecuador is attending its 10th Paralympic Summer Games.
Eritrea.
Sipatu Kisete Weldemariam becomes the first ever Eritrean Paralympian. The African nation making its debut at the 2024 Games in Paris. He's a middle distance athlete and will be competing in the men's 1500 metres T54.
Espagne.
Spain.
Spain has been a force in Paralympic sport, especially since hosting the Games in Barcelona in '92, which were another benchmark Games for the Paralympic movement. The country has piled up so many medals that they will very likely surpass 700 all-time here in Paris. The flag bearers, Marta Artse from judoka, or is a judoka from judo, competing in her 5th Games, a 3-time Paralympic medal winner. Also has a master's degree in communication and sport journalism. She's also a mother of 3. She stays busy. And the other flag bearer is Alvaro Valera, a 5-time world champion in table tennis and a winner of 6 Paralympic medals. Spain, a big team, and we think will be a very strong team.
Estonie.
Estonia.
As a team of 5, including 3 swimmers for these games. One of those is Mats Topkin, who in Tokyo finished 5th in the S4 50-metre backstroke, one of Estonia's best results at those games. Laura-Liis Josalu and Robin Lixor are the flag bearers from swimming and triathlon.
Ethiopia.
Well, Ethiopia has 1 gold medal and 2 silvers on its medal roster, and a brilliant smile there from Yayesh Gapte Tesfor. She's the newly crowned world champion over 1500 metres in the women's T11 classification. That's for runners with visual impairment. 4 minutes 31.77 seconds her winning time. And alongside 19-year-old Yetalyal Selesi Yigzo, who is also a middle distance man, who running the 1500 metres, he took silver in Japan at this year's World Championships.
Fiji.
The team from Fiji, 3 athletes, all first-timers at the Paralympic Games, all women, 2 in athletics, 1 in taekwondo. And she is 19-year-old Irina Mar, inspired to start the sport by her father and her coach. The other 2 athletes, by the way, Nabeli Vatunsolo and Selina Sayal, who trains 5 or 6 days a week, she says, has competed in multiple sports representing Fiji.
Finland.
Finland.
Finland will have 16 athletes competing across 6 sports. One of the stalwarts of Paralympic competition has been Leo Pekatati. Paris will be his 6th consecutive Paralympic Games, and on the track he's won 5 gold, a silver and bronze in the T54, 100 and 200 metre events. And he is one of the flag bearers alongside Laura Kingasanimi, who's a para-equestrian.
Did you guys see me get all excited when I saw Leo Pekatati? I love him. He's so good.
Gabon.
Gabon.
Audrey Fabiola Menge Pambo, Gabon's first female Paralympian F57 discus. She putted the shot in Tokyo, and there she is grooving on down alongside Davy Rendell Mukanyi, who is the youngest Gabonese Paralympian to date in Tokyo. And he promotes parasport back home. 30 years old. So you're never too old to find a sport for you.
Gambia.
Gambia competing at the Paralympic Games since 2012, so London still looking for their first medal. 2 athletes will be chasing it. The flag bearer this time, there she is Fatou Kole in wheelchair racing. In athletics, she has also played for and coached the Gambia amputee football team.
Georgia, beginning its Paralympic journey in 2008, sent 1 athlete, then 2, then 5, then 13 to Tokyo. In Paris, they have 14. Their Paralympic medals have mainly come in judo and fencing, in which Georgia will again be well represented. 2024.
Ghana's adding para-taekwondo to the list of its Paralympic sports. Before now, there's been athletics, powerlifting and cycling, right back to 2004. Zainabu Issa is the 44-year-old. He'll be competing in the shot put and the discus. Tahiru Haruna, powerlifter, 30-year-old. She represented Ghana in para-arm wrestling at the championships in Ghana.
Great Britain.
Well, the birthplace of the Paralympics movement, where, in very simplistic terms, Dr. Ludwig Guttmann began to promote his passionate belief in the power of sport to change life. His legacy acknowledged through the lighting of the Paralympic flame at Stoke Mandeville. And we can see Lucy Shuka, the wheelchair tennis player, runner-up in the doubles in Tokyo, bronze in the singles and in London. And Terry Bywater, the wheelchair basketballer, coming to his 7th Paralympic Games. Plays for CD Illusion in Madrid. He's also the European representative on the International Wheelchair Basketball Federation.
Greece has won 104 medals in Paralympic competition since 1976, and 20 of those have been gold. Arriving in Paris as their only Tokyo gold medalist is Anathasios Garbelas. He set a new world record twice in Tokyo in the T11 100 metres and ran 10.82 in the final. Greece will have representation in 9 other sports, as well as para-athletics.
Grenada.
Welcome back, Grenada. They made their debut at the rescheduled 2020 Games in Tokyo. No big crowds to welcome them there. And a return for thrower is Shona Charles. She's going to put the shot as well as throw the javelin, and joined by Tyler Smith, just 17 years old, the first man to represent Grenada at the Paralympics. Big moment for him.
Guatemala.
2 athletes on the team for Guatemala, 2 flag bearers. Archer Juan Diego Blas, busy off the playing field too. Earlier this year, he was elected president of the America's Paralympic Committee Athletes Commission. And 400-meter runner Erica Villatori in her 2nd Paralympic Games. She was 5th at the Para-Pan Am Games in Santiago last year.
Guinea.
The West African nation of Guinea has 2 athletes in Paris, both in para-athletics. 19-year-old Yamusa Silla and Kadiatu Bangura, appearing at her 2nd Games, and they are sharing flag-bearing duties for Guinea.
Leading the dancing.
Guinea-Bissau.
So we have a volunteer carrying the flag, but Na Brinbande Dominguez becomes her nation's 4th Paralympian on the roster. Guinea-Bissau making its first Games appearance at London 2012. 3 years ago, Mama Silou Bari was the sole representative in the men's 100 metres T11.
Haiti.
From Haiti, a nation that's been competing at Paralympic Games since 2008. The flag bearer is the team's only competitor. There he is, Juanson Registra. He's a shot putter. Tokyo 3 years ago, he competed. He'll try to better his 13th place finish from those games.
Honduras.
Oliver Cruz is 43 years old, sole flag bearer and competitor of Honduras, a graphic designer, and puts Michael Phelps as his inspiration. He's got a little wait to get into competition. The men's 50 metres S7 isn't until next week.
Hong Kong, China.
Hong Kong, China.
Hong Kong, China has an interesting Paralympic history, having won 131 medals since 1984, almost half of them in wheelchair fencing. And 22 of their gold medals have also come in that sport. And 7 of those goals belong to Yu Chue-yi. She is here once more at her 6th Paralympics. She's one of a team of 23 for Hong Kong, China.
Hungary.
40 athletes on the team from Hungary made its Paralympic debut way back in Germany 52 years ago. It's a swimming nation, Hungary is. We shouldn't be surprised. There's a connection with both flag bearers. Fanny Ellis is a swimmer in her 5th Paralympic Games. She won gold in the 100 breaststroke at both the Paralympic Games and the World Championships. Swimming is also part of Hungary's other flag bearer sport. Bence Moksara competes in the triathlon. He was inspired by Tamás Sors, who won gold for Hungary in triathlon at the London Games.
India.
Sumit and fellow athletics competitor Bhagrishi Jadhav are flag bearers for India. He's been named on Forbes India's 30 under 30 list for 2024, highlighting the successful young people in India. He'll be defending his javelin F64 title from Tokyo. It's the second Games for Bhagrishi Jadhav. India claimed its first Paralympic medal of gold way back in 1972 in Heidelberg, but they were hard to come by until Tokyo, where they won more gold and total medals than all their previous games combined.
Wow is right.
'84 athletes.
Indonesia.
Indonesia looking spectacular, bringing a team of 35 athletes. 9 will be competing in para-badminton, a sport which provided their 1 gold medal in Tokyo. That victory coming after a 40-year gold medal drought. The rest of the team will be competing across 9 other sports. In total, Indonesia has 27 Paralympic medals.
République islamique d'Iran.
Islamic Republic of Iran.
Islamic Republic of Iran, the flag bearers, 51-year-old first-time Paralympian Mohammad Reza Mirshafea, who competes in shooting, and athletics athlete Hajar Safarzadeh, who is the world champion in the 400 meters. Iran is a volleyball nation. They made the gold medal match in sitting volleyball an astonishing 9 straight Paralympic Games. Morteza Murad is the sport's biggest star. He is quite literally the sport's biggest star. I'm trying to see if we can see him there in the crowd. He stands 2 meters 47. That is 8'1". They will be the favorites again in sitting volleyball. 65 athletes on the team from Iran.
Iraq.
Well, no Iraqi women have yet won a medal in the Paralympic Games. Fatma Souadi is hoping to change that one day, one of 4 women in the delegation of 20. But that's Iraq's first Paralympic champion, Faris Al-Jeli, at the other end of the scale, still competing 20 years after making his debut in the para-powerlifting. Gold in Athens, silver in London 2012, and a bronze in Tokyo.
the Place de la Concorde and the Champs-Élysées.
Ireland.
For Ireland, a squad of 29 athletes. The great sprinter Jason Smith is finally not amongst them. He's working in the media this time, retiring after winning 4 T1300 metre titles in a row. But they do have returning gold medalists such as SB8 breaststroke champion Ellen Keane and visually impaired cyclist Katie George Dunleavy. They always acquit themselves well, Ireland.
Iceland.
Historically, most of Iceland's Paralympic medals have come in swimming. 4 of the 5 athletes on this year's team swimmers. Both flag bearers are swimmers. Sonja Sigurdardóttir competing in her 3rd Paralympic Games, and Mar Gunnarsson, who competed in 4 events in Tokyo, but he's decided to back down in just one race here, the 100-meter backstroke. He's going to put it all into that race.
Israel.
2 hands on the flag, 1 gold ball ace, Lihi Ben David taking the flag, one of the top gold ball players in the world. She's in a team that always seems to just miss out on the medals. Maybe it will be different at Paris 2024. Holding the flag also Adam Berdychovsky, here to play in the wheelchair tennis at his 3rd Paralympic Games. Proud to be in Paris after what's been a difficult time for him back home, where he lives on the kibbutz near Yitzhak.
Italy.
Well, Italy has one of the bigger contingents in Paris with 135 athletes scheduled to compete. They hosted the first Paralympic Games in Rome in 1960, and they've sent athletes to every edition since. Cyclist Francesca Porcelato is appearing in her 9th Summer Paralympics. She won her 13th medal in Tokyo, competing at her 8th Summer Games, the most of any Italian athlete. Porcelato competed in athletics at 6 games from 1988 to 2008 before switching to cycling for Rio and Tokyo. A 3-time Winter Paralympian as well. S10 swimmer Stefano Raimondo is back for more medals, having claimed 7 in Tokyo.
Jamaica.
Team from Jamaica, after 4 athletes represented the island nation in Tokyo, just 1 on this year's team from athletics. He is 16-year-old Theodore Rashani Thomas, who will compete in long jump.
Japan.
181 representatives for the country that hosted the Games so beautifully last time around. Nishida An, the 50-metre butterfly swimmer, S7. And she's also going in the 200 metres individual medley as well. Ishiyama Daiki also holding the flag. He is a long jumper, won silver in the World Championships earlier this year. Japan's hosted the Games on 3 occasions, of course. 1964 in Tokyo, the Winter Games in Nagano in 1998, and, of course, 3 years ago in the delayed Games of 2020. They enjoyed great success on home turf, winning a first gold in athletics and cycling since 2008.
Jordan.
7 of their 8 athletes will compete in powerlifting, leaving Ahmad Hindi as their sole non-lifter, and he'll be in the F34 shot put for Jordan. He won that in Tokyo. Jamil El-Chebli won a powerlifting gold in Tokyo, and he's here again. He's also the owner of 2 silver medals from shot put events in 04 and 08.
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan earned one of the 8 highly coveted spots in the men's sitting volleyball tournament. That is no easy feat. From that team, Berek Ismagan-Betov is one of the flag bearers. He and his mates begin their tournament tomorrow against the host nation, France, at the North Paris Arena. The other flag bearer from shooting, Sevda Aliyeva, a multi-talented athlete who has represented her nation in shooting, in karate, and in dance. 44 athletes on the team from Kazakhstan.
Kenya.
Samuel Kimani, one of Kenya's multi-gold medalists, a T11 runner who claimed the 1500 metres crown in 2012 and 2016. That's Asia Sururu, the first female rower to represent Kenya at the Paralympic Games. She competed in Tokyo. She returns to the women's single sculls. She's also competed in para-badminton, wheelchair tennis, wheelchair marathons at international level. What can't she do?
Kyrgyzstan.
4 athletes are here for Kyrgyzstan, attempting to win their country's first Paralympic medal. Female competitors will be involved in powerlifting, athletics and triathlon. They have 1 athlete in the J1 judo event.
Kiribati.
Let's welcome Kiribati to the Paralympic movement, their first games for the Pacific Ocean island nation. 1 competitor, Onjo Timion, who will throw the shot put. In 2020, he was at an event in Australia, but in transit, he got stranded in Fiji during the pandemic, stranded for 9 months.
Kosovo. And we might as well welcome Kosovo to the family as well. History maker Grevic Bitici, the first athlete to represent Kosovo at the Games, sole competitor in Paris, goes in the 1500 metres T46.
Kuwait.
Has 3 competitors here in 2024. Unsurprisingly, they're all in para-athletics. Their 12 Paralympic gold medals have all come in the athletic stadium. It's a similar story overall, with 45 of their total tally of 52 medals coming in para-athletics.
République démocratique populaire, Laos.
Laos has competed at every Paralympic Games since Sydney 2000. 1 medal, all-time powerlifter A. Sime won it in Beijing. This year, the flag bearer is Ken Theptida in the long jump.
Lesotho.
Zemelesi Kamakane, just 19 years old, will be competing in the 400 metres T11. 4 men and 2 women have represented Lesotho at the Paralympic Games since it debuted in Sydney 2000, all para-athletes. And Misitsu Kotalele, the only representative in Tokyo, she's got the flag as well, classified F54, but taking part in the women's F64 discus.
Lettonie.
Latvia.
8 athletes will be carrying the hopes of Latvia in Paris. The nation to date has accumulated 5 gold medals, won by just 2 athletes. Egars Arpanis has 4 of them in discus and shot put. Diana Krumina won the F56 javelin in Rio, and she has a silver and 2 bronze medals as well.
Lebanon.
The team from Lebanon, Arts Zeradin, who started in sport as a fencer, is the flag bearer before switching over to athletics. He'll be the nation's only competitor for the second straight games. He was 6th in both the 100 and 200 sprints at last year's Asian Games.
Liberia.
Chateau Koli is a multi-eventer. He's going to be running and throwing in the para-athletics. And Angie Myers, at 20 years old, is Liberia's 2nd female Paralympian. Also taking to the field in the women's shot put F57.
Libya sends 3 athletes to these games, including 14-year-old Abra Al-Balul, who will compete in para-athletics. Powerlifter Ghazala Alakouri becomes their second Paralympian to compete in 3 games.
Lithuania, a nation that's been around for 1,000 years, competing in the Paralympic Games since 1992. 9 athletes in Paris: athletics, judo, shooting, and swimming. The flag bearer is 18-year-old Gabrielle Sepachute, 5th at the European Championships this year, looking to set personal bests in Paris at the La Défense Arena.
Luxembourg hasn't achieved a podium finish since 1984. Did come close in Tokyo. Their sole competitor, Tom Habscheid, placed 4th in the men's shot put. He's back again, hoping to go one place better. That was Catherine Cole. She's the competitor in the women's 100 metres T54, originally a dancer and played basketball.
Macao, Chine.
Well, Macau made its Paralympic debut in 1988. Only representative swimmer in Chengchong. That's 17-year-old Chi Hao Lai. She will be taking part in the long jump in the T20.
Macédoine du Nord.
North Macedonia.
In Athens 2004, Olivera Nakovska-Bikova became North Macedonia's 3rd Paralympian and first female athlete to take part in the Games. She's their only gold medalist and is here taking part in her 6th Paralympics as her country's only representative.
Malaysia.
After appearing in Heidelberg in 1972, Malaysia didn't get to the Paralympic stage until Seoul 1988. Have appeared in every edition since then, 32 competing in total. Olivera Nakovska-Bikova hitting the target in London 2012, winning gold in the P2 air rifle, of the air pistol, should I say. 4th at the shorter distance in Rio, but then she was 6 months pregnant.
Malawi.
These are just the 3rd Paralympic Games to have athletes from Malawi competing. In 2024, they have 2 sprinters with vision impairment, Esther Nagoli and Moses Masoya. They'll be in the 200 and 400 metres respectively.
Maldives.
And this is just the 2nd appearance at the Paralympics for the Maldives, having sent 2 athletes to Tokyo. As then, both their competitors will be in para-athletics, and they share the flag-bearing duties tonight. Fatima Ibrahim and Abdul Samad.
Mali.
5 representative athletes at the Games since 2000. In Rio 2016, Korota Tuma Coulibaly became Mali's first female Paralympian. She's back. And alongside 18-year-old Samba Coulibaly, who will take part in the sprints in the T13. He's the African champion.
Malta.
Team from Malta, 2 athletes. 24-year-old swimmer Maja Toma is carrying the flag. There she is. And so is 34-year-old sprinter Antonio Flores, back after a long hiatus. He competed in Beijing in 2008.
Rare thing in Paris, a break in the traffic. What a night, though.
The Eiffel Tower, famously set to be a temporary monument, supposed to be in position for just 20 years. But it has stood the test of time and stood sentinel over Paris 2024 Part 1 and at the beginning here of Part 2. And that's not looking too bad either.
Morocco.
35 of Morocco's 38 Paralympic medals, and all 16 of their gold medals have come in para-athletics. Coincidentally, their team this year has 38 athletes. Azzedine Naouri is chasing a third gold in the F34 shot put, having tasted victory in London and Rio. It was silver in Tokyo. Elamin Chentouf has a 5,000 metre and 2 marathon gold medals. It'll be hard to deny in Paris at Stade de France.
Maurice.
Mauritius.
Roberto Michel starts his Paralympic Games career as flag bearer, 24 years old. He'll be going in the 100 metres T34 and the 800 metres as well. The wheelchair racers Naomi Afonso has 4 races in Tokyo as well as here. She's entered into the women's marathon as well as the sprint. Another returner, Brandy Perrine, as well.
Mexico.
67 athletes strong team from Mexico. Mexico has won 300 Paralympic medals, 2/3 of them in athletics. The flag bearers, 60-year-old Salvador Hernandez, 3-time Paralympic champion, 7-time world champion in wheelchair racing, and swimmer Fabiola Ramirez, who won a medal in Tokyo. Shows some pretty incredible life skills, balancing her career as a lawyer, by the way. One of the greats from Mexico was wheelchair racer Saul Mendoza, who won both Olympic and Paralympic gold when they had the crossover.
Larissa Marenkova, their most experienced Paralympian. It's her 5th game. She started at Beijing in 2008. Georges Spinou will take part in the men's shot put, having only taken up the sport last year. He's 22 years old.
Mongolia.
Mongolia will have 12 athletes in Paris, with multiple competitors in judo, taekwondo and para-athletics. Best chance of adding to their medal tally rests with Sodnompilji Enkbayar. He has a gold and silver in powerlifting from Tokyo and Rio.
Montenegro.
Flag bearers for the team from Montenegro, Maja Rakovic from athletics, only woman on the team. She will compete in the javelin at Stade de France. And Luka Bacic from table tennis, 5th in both of his events at the Tokyo Games 3 years ago.
Mozambique.
The elegant figure of Edmilson Governor, who is Mozambique's first ever Paralympic medal winner. At Rio 2016, she won bronze in the women's T12 400 metres, and again is the sole competitor.
Myanmar.
33-year-old Soe Pia is Myanmar's only athlete for Paris 2024. He'll be in the T64 100 metres. Myanmar picked up 7 medals in the early editions of the Games.
Namibia.
Namibia's team flag bearers are Leia Ishetil, who will be a contender in the sprints. She's been a medalist over 400 meters at the World Championships, and carrying the flag as well as Chris Kenda, who won a gold at the Worlds in Japan this year.
Nepal has 1 swimmer and 2 taekwondokas competing in Paris. Palesha Govardhan very nearly won Nepal's first Paralympic medal in Tokyo with a 5th place in the Taekwondo 58K division.
Nicaragua.
Still waiting for a first medal. Their only hope lies with Carlos Alberto Castillo, sole competitor for Nicaragua. Men's 100 metres T38 for the 30-year-old. He also competed in Tokyo.
Niger.
Similar story for Niger, just 1 athlete this time around. Ida Umaru Jabiru, looking for his nation's first, competes in Taekwondo, has finished as high as 5th, though, at the World Championships.
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Nigeria has won 80 Paralympic Games medals, and exactly half of them are gold, and 38 of those come from powerlifting and athletics. The other 2 gold medals are from table tennis. Nigeria has 8 players here in their team of 23. Flora Nwanwa will be throwing for her 3rd consecutive javelin gold in the F54 classification.
Norvège.
Norway.
18 athletes for Norway, 115 gold medals in their Paralympic years. That is Ida Nesse, it's her 3rd games, and Salam Ageze Kashafali, who'll be in the men's sprints. They've sent athletes to all but 1 Paralympic Games, won most of those medals in the 1984 Games, 30 golds in that particular competition.
Nouvelle-Zélande.
28 athletes from New Zealand. Anna Grimaldi could earn a 3-peat in the long jump. She's one of the flag bearers after taking gold in Rio and Tokyo. And Cameron Leslie, the other flag bearer, 3-time Paralympic champion, who was named to New Zealand's swimming and wheelchair rugby squads for Tokyo, but had to withdraw because his wife was due to give birth to a baby. That's a good reason.
Oman.
Oman's been competing since Seoul in '88. Their 1 Paralympic medal came in Tokyo. Mohammed Al-Mashaki picked up a bronze in the F32 shot put. He's in Paris, along with Sarah Al-Anbouri, competing in para-athletics. Looking pretty pleased to be here.
Uganda.
Uganda.
Big smile from Pisa Roma, who ran the women's T13 400 metres and 100 metres in Tokyo. Also named as flag bearer Dennis Mbazi-Ira. He's a powerlifter and at 39 years old is making his Games debut.
Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan had a nice haul with 8 gold medals in both Rio and Tokyo. Flag bearers Mokigul Kamdaova in athletics. She throws shot put and discus. And Kushnidin Nurbakov from athletics, also a gold medalist from Tokyo, as was Kamdomova. So both will be looking for more hardware at Stade de France.
Pakistan.
Pakistan.
Just the 1 athlete for Pakistan, but is a man of gold, Haider Ali, who won the F37 discus in Tokyo. He's also got silver and bronze medals from a T37 long jump, appearing at his 5th.
Palestine.
4 athletes have represented Palestine since they debuted in the year 2000. All athletes. Now Fadi Al-Dib can join that list. 39-year-old competing in the F55 shot put.
Panama.
Panama.
Panama will be represented in powerlifting, cycling and athletics, but the nation hasn't won a Paralympic medal for 20 years. They have 8 medals, all won by 1 athlete, Said Gomez, on the Barcelona track in 1992. In fact, he won 3 of them in 1 day.
Papouasie-Nouvelle-Guinée.
Papua New Guinea.
Team from Papua New Guinea is small. Flag bearers are 31-year-old Taekwondo athlete Harar Loy and Managa Tapari, also from Taekwondo. The only athlete ever to stand on a Paralympic podium was Francis Compayan, who did so in Beijing.
Paraguay.
Paraguay made its Paralympic debut in Tokyo. 2 athletes taking part then. Men's swimmer Rodrigo Hermosa, the first to compete. And Melissa Tilner became Paraguay's first female Paralympian when she competed.
Pays-Bas.
Netherlands.
The captain of the Dutch women's wheelchair basketball team is Corinne de Roy. She's one of the flag bearers, 6-time Paralympian. Her team looking for back-to-back golds. The other flag bearer, Daniel Abraham, 5-time world champion in cycling.
They're coming off a really impressive team performance in Tokyo, where they won 25 gold medals, their best haul since 1988. Triple para swimming gold medalist Roger Dorsman will be competing again after being one of the stars of the pool 3 years ago.
It's only when the sun goes down does the City of Light come to life.
Team from Peru, which has also hosted a major games in recent years. In 2019, the Pan American Games in Lima, the flag bearer Jorge Arcela from shooting, and Pilar Jaraguay Canchino from badminton, the singles world champion. She has also represented her nation in wheelchair basketball at the World Championships.
Para-archer Agustina Anteloc, 56 years old, representing the country in powerlifting before taking up the bow for archery in Paris. A beautiful venue for that. And of course, Ernie Gawalian, third Paralympic Games for him, waving the flag proudly there. Best finished 6th in Tokyo. Be taking part in the 400 metres FS7.
Poland brings a sizable delegation to Paris with 83 competitors. They've got a great record in table tennis and wheelchair fencing. They've won 10 gold medals in both. 49-year-old Darius Penda will be fencing at his 7th Games. He has 2 gold, 3 silver and 4 bronze medals. Also appearing at Paralympics number 7, Natalia Partika, who has an astonishing 6 gold, 2 silver and 2 bronze medals in para-table tennis.
Puerto Rico.
Flag bearer for the Puerto Rican team is 19-year-old Amaris Sofia Vasquez Colazzo. She will do the 100, 200 and long jump combination in track in the T64 category. Names the Dutch star Floor Young as her hero. She was just ahead of her in the order.
Portugal.
Diogo Cancela, 22 years old, at his 2nd Paralympics, and that's Margarida Lapa, who's 24 years old. She's going to be taking part in the mixed 10-metre air rifle prone. Portugal won 2 medals in Tokyo, including a first Paralympic canoe sprint medal, courtesy of Norberto Moral's bronze in the VL2 200-metre single event.
Qatar's only been competing in para-athletics and powerlifting since 1996, and that tradition continues with their 2 athletes in 2024. Both will be at Stade de France, track running and shot put.
8 athletes, 1 guide runner representing 120 million forcibly displaced people worldwide. The refugee Paralympic team gets a nice hand. Guillaume Junior Antangana, a track athlete, the flag bearer. He represented Cameroon in Tokyo before becoming a member of the refugee team. His ambition is to win gold in Paris after finishing 4th in Tokyo.
Romania.
That's Camila Chiripan, para table tennis. And a Romanian cycling legend, Karel Eduard Novak, in the team. His country's most successful athlete at the Games. He won the first 3 medals at the Games.
Rwanda will compete in sitting volleyball and para-athletics. Their women's sitting volleyball team won just the single game in Tokyo, but significantly it was against the hosts, Japan. Elegantly turned out today. A bronze at the track in Athens, 2004, their only medal so far.
Saint-Vincent et les Grenadines.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Kentriel Timothy Kidd will represent St. Vincent and the Grenadines. A beautiful spot in the southeastern Caribbean. He'll swim in the S90, S9 50 freestyle. Having also done so at the Pan Am Games last year in Chile.
Solomon Islands.
Bringing a bit of fight to Paris. James Ingram Gagau and Juanita Tonoane, both para-taekwondoers. It's the second time the sport will be competed at the Paralympic Games.
Sao Tome et Principe.
Sao Tome and Principe. Alex Anyos, the only athlete. He was the only athlete in the games for them in Rio and the only athlete for them in the games in Tokyo in the men's 400 T47 category.
Senegal.
Senegal will have one athlete competing in each of 4 sports: para-athletics, archery, taekwondo and canoe. First appearance in sports other than athletics and taekwondo, with their 2 athletes in archery and para-canoe.
Serbia.
Well, that's Serbia's oldest medalist in Tokyo with the flag, Zeljo Dimitrijevic, 50 years old and 240 days, 2-time Paralympic champion. And Saska Sokolov, alongside, she'll be competing in the javelin. Trained in handball for 12 years before getting involved in para-athletics.
Sierra Leone.
F-57 javelin thrower George Wyndham is the representative for Sierra Leone. He also competed in Rio, but that was in table tennis, so quite a transition to throwing events for George. Second time he's been his country's sole athlete.
Singapore.
10 athletes for Singapore. The flag bearer is swimmer Wei Song To. 3 gold medals at the Asian Games. Just missed the podium in Tokyo with a 4th. 3 athletes have won all of the medals for Singapore since its debut in Seoul. Together they have combined for 11 medals. Laurentia Tan has 4 of those, and she is competing in equestrian.
Slovakia.
Big wave from Elena Canova. Para table tennis won singles gold in Sydney 24 years ago. Has won 5 medals at 5 different Paralympic Games. And the C4 individual time trial defending champion cyclist Patrick Kuril also named as flag bearer for Slovakia. Finished just ahead of his compatriot Metelika, who won silver in Japan.
Slovenia.
Apart from their women's sitting volleyball team, Slovenia will have competitors in para-athletics, archery and shooting. Franček Tursek has 3 silver medals and a bronze in shooting, and the 49-year-old might well add to that tally in Paris.
Somalia.
Mahdi Abshir Omar is Somalia's athlete in 2024. He competed in the F-57 shot put in Tokyo and will do so again in Paris.
Sri Lanka.
Here's the team from Sri Lanka, 8 athletes. The flag bearers Indika Gamage won a bronze in athletics at the World Championships this year. And Yanani Wickremesinghe, 19-year-old long jumper, silver at the Asian Para Games last year.
Sweden's taken part in every edition of the Paralympic Games. Equestrian Louise Etzner Jakobsen broke her leg 7 weeks before Tokyo, needed surgery, persuaded her doctor to take off the cast from her leg early, went on to win silver, improving on her 2 bronzes in Rio. She will be partnered once again with Gold Strike BJ in the dressage, Goldie to his friends.
Switzerland has a long and strong Paralympic tradition, having won 295 medals. They've been at every Paralympic Games since 1960. Got 27 athletes competing in 9 sports. They won 14 medals in Tokyo, 7 of them gold. We should mention the legendary Hans Frey, who ended his run of 10 Summer Games in Tokyo.
Suriname.
nation in the northern part of South America. They have taken part in the Paralympic Games twice before, Suriname.
République arabe syrienne.
Syrian Arab Republic.
Alaa Abdul Salam with the flag, 30 years old. Shot putter. Country made its debut in 1992.
Chinese Taipei.
Chinese Taipei.
Chinese Taipei's 5 Paralympic gold medals have come in athletics, judo and powerlifting. They'll have representatives in those 3 sports again in Paris, along with archery, table tennis, taekwondo.
République unie de Tanzanie.
United Republic of Tanzania.
Tanzania, the East African nation, makes us think about mountains because that's where Mount Kilimanjaro is. One athlete on the team, the flag bearer, 27-year-old wheelchair racer Hilmi Shawal, whose nickname is Lightning. He grew up and studied in London.
Czechia.
10 medals in Tokyo, where the 2 flag bearers and shot putters, Ales Kissi and Anna Luxova, both won bronze in their respective events. 2 gold medals on its Paralympic debut in Atlanta. Went on to win 15 gold in the year 2000, 16 gold in 2004.
Thailand has a proud history at the Games, especially in wheelchair racing. Prawat Wohoram was pretty much a rock star in the sport with 16 Paralympic medals, 7 of them gold. He's in Paris. He's not racing, though. But the next generation is. The flag bearer is Atiwat Penguanu. He'll look to defend his 100-meter gold. And fencer Sasonyi Jana is the other flag bearer for Thailand. She'll be one to watch in the épée events, where she's a 2-time Paralympic champion.
République démocratique du Timor-Leste.
Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste.
31-year-old Teofilo Freitas will represent Timor-Leste at Paris 2024. He's a T38 competitor in the 400 and 1500 metres.
Togo.
Togo.
High jumper Ayao Kansa has also represented Togo in para-badminton.
Tonga.
Tonga's flag bearer is Melian Felamaka, discus thrower in athletics, but she's also represented her nation in table tennis, and she talks about how being an athlete gives her the confidence to do almost anything.
Trinité et Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
One athlete representing Trinidad and Tobago, 32-year-old Akeem Stewart, a gold medalist from Rio, having won the F44 javelin. He also claimed silver in a discus event, but wasn't in Tokyo.
Tunisia.
Of the 39 Paralympic nations to have won more than 100 Paralympic medals, Tunisia is the only one to have done it in just one sport, para-athletics. Shot putter Moura Ibrahimi is a flag bearer, wants to add to her collection of 3 Paralympic Games gold and a bronze. Mohamed Fahad Chida won his 8th Paralympic medal 3 years ago, having won his first in Athens in 2004. 20 years of medal-winning gloriousness.
Turquie.
Turkey has one of the bigger teams in Paris with 93 athletes ready to give it their all. The nation's backing up from Tokyo, where they had their best games to date, winning 15 medals, including 2 gold. Their women's goalball team will be chasing a 3rd consecutive Paralympic title. They beat the USA in the gold medal game in Tokyo. And Abdullah Öztürk will be playing for his 3rd gold in the sport of para-table tennis. Turkey won its first ever para-swimming medal in Tokyo. Bronze for Sevilay Öztürk. She'll be competing again in 4 S5 events. Nation on the move is Turkey.
Turkmenistan.
Turkmenistan.
Maya Gazelle Ekeyeva has the flag for her country, 38-year-old back at the Paralympic Games, having taken part in Beijing and Rio in the para-powerlifting. Delegation of 140 for Ukraine. Wheelchair fencer Olena Fedota Isayeva. 2 silvers in Tokyo, wearing that beautiful floral crown. Para-rower Roman Polyanskyi became the first Ukrainian rower to win more than 1 Paralympic gold medal in the sport, winning the men's single sculls at the Games in Tokyo, having won them in Rio. Well, Maxim Kubek surpassed his gold tally after just 2 appearances at the Games. 5 gold and 3 silver medals on his debut in 2016. Added another 5 gold, a silver and a bronze in Tokyo.
Uruguay.
Just the 2 athletes for Uruguay in Paris, but it's noteworthy that Henry Borges is competing in judo at his 5th Paralympics. His teammate Pana Arias is just 14 years of age, a para-swimmer. Henry's wife Mariana is also an international para-judo athlete.
Vanuatu.
Eli Enoch and Ken Kahu are the flag bearers and athletes for Vanuatu in Paris. Eli won a gold medal at the Pacific Games in the Solomon Islands last year. Competed in 2 sports at the Birmingham Commonwealth Games.
Venezuela.
Venezuelans might be looking for something to cheer about. They're coming off their best Paralympic Games ever in Tokyo, carrying the flag. Paralympic champion and world champion sprinter Lizabeth Oliveira. She's quite a story to tell about dealing with bullying when she was growing up. And Luis Felipe Rodriguez, medal winner at the Para-Pan Am Games and the World Championships and the Paralympic Games.
Îles Vierges américaines.
Virgin Islands, US.
A nation of 50-plus islands. Virgin Islands, US. Fewer than 100,000 people located in the Lesser Antilles. The flag bearer, 15-year-old high jumper Isaiah Benjamin.
Vietnam.
Veterans on flag duty, a Vietnamese record 6th Paralympic Games for powerlifter Hoang Tuệ Luet Tran, and Vietnam's only medalist in Tokyo, Lee Van Kong, the other flag bearer. Became his country's first multiple medalist with silver in Tokyo.
Yemen.
36-year-old Nasib Aroad will be competing in the F-57 shot put for Yemen. It's his 2nd Games, having competed in Tokyo. Prior to that, Yemen had last seen representation in Barcelona in 1992.
Zimbabwe.
Tinotenda Bango, Kudawashi Chigwadere. On flag duty, it's been a while since Zimbabwean athletes took to the podium at the Games. Most recent medalist was athlete Elliot Mujayaji, claimed gold in the men's T46 100 metres in Sydney.
Australia.
The host of the Games in 8 years' time, Australia brings a big team of 151 to Paris. Flag bearers, multi-gold medalists Madison De Rosario and Brendan Hall from athletics and swimming, respectively. Australia has appeared at every Paralympic Games and finished in the top 5 on the medal table at every edition between 1992 and 2016. The athletes who claimed the 4 gold medals at the track in Tokyo are back. James Turner, wheelchair track road competitor Madison De Rosario, long jumper Vanessa Lowe, all back to defend their titles. 2012 and 16, Australia took the wheelchair rugby title. Have plenty of swimming chances as well.
États-Unis d'Amérique.
United States of America.
United States' flag bearers are from Sitting volleyball, Nikki Nieves. There she is. Rio gold medalist, a leader on and off the court, vocal about the importance of mental health and disability advocacy. She was joined there by Steve Serio, a gentleman and a superstar in wheelchair basketball, playing both at home and abroad. Big team, over 220 athletes in France, and of course, Los Angeles of the U.S. will host the next edition of the Games in 2028.
So if that's the USA, that leaves just one more team to complete this Parade of Nations. Parading down the Champs-Élysées with the City of Lights on either side and thousands of fans. As is tradition, it's the hosts closing out the Parade of Nations with 249 athletes, including 121 rookies. France has compiled its strongest ever contingent with the flag, two Chevalier de Légion d'Honneur, the T13 sprinter Nantian Keita, gold medal winner in Rio, silver in Beijing, bronze in London 2012, and the sensational Alexis Onkikan, the reigning Paralympic champion in the men's PTS4 triathlon, a world champion 6 times consecutively. They've changed the music. We're ready to hear the noise again at Paris 2024 Part 2, because the crowds were magnificent supporting their team at the Olympics, and it's bound to be just as good.
Oh, Champs-Élysées, ever so popular during the Olympics and now so appropriate for the entry of the host nation at the Paralympics opening ceremony. They were 14th on the medal table in Tokyo, where China was far and away the strongest nation, but it will be so interesting to see how our hosts do in Paris.
Some of the past games, the host nation was given a spot in the team sports, and that didn't happen this time around. So France, particularly in wheelchair basketball, had to earn its spot among only 8 nations. And they went to the qualifying tournament earlier this year, and they didn't just qualify, they swept all 4 of their games. So they have locked up a spot in that sport. Crowds will love it.
It's probably a good time to enjoy the artistry of the ceremonies as well, and the choice of music has been outstanding throughout. Que je t'aime by Johnny Hallyday, that was Les Champs-Élysées by Joe Dassin, and this is Emmenez-moi by the French legend that is Charles Aznavour. Everybody will be singing.
I have to say, as an athlete, and knowing some athletes who have hosted games, your heart is literally bursting out of your chest right now as you're coming into the stadium.
traditionally always very hard to get the host nation into position after the Parade of Nations. Creative team and production team would be so pleased that we've had such a beautiful evening in which to showcase the city, the athletes and the opening. It really has made a difference. So much more to come in this opening ceremony for 2024. French team clearly enjoying les cornichons.
Vers les docks où le poids et l'ennui me courbent le dos. Ils arrivent le ventre alourdi de fruits, les bateaux. Ils viennent du bout du monde apportant avec eux des idées vagabondes, de reflets de ciel bleu, de mirages. Traînant un parfum poivré de pays inconnus et d'éternels étés où l'on vit presque nu sur les plages. Moi qui n'ai connu toute ma vie que le ciel du Nord. J'aimerais débarbouiller ce gris environ de bord. Emmenez-moi au bout de la terre, emmenez-moi au pays des merveilles. Il me semble que la misère serait moins pénible au soleil. Emmenez-moi au bout de la terre, emmenez-moi au pays des merveilles. Il me semble que la misère serait moins pénible au soleil.
With that fabulous obelisk, could talk, what a story it could tell about this evening. Stood there since the early 1800s and has been around for 3,000 years. But what a celebration has been witnessed already so far with the Parade of Nations. As the The opening ceremony continues with our themes of moving from discord to concord. Turn to our creative segments in just a moment.
Mesdames et messieurs, les athlètes des Jeux Paralympiques de Paris 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, the athletes of the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games.
En fait, on n'est pas différent de quelqu'un d'autre. Qui aujourd'hui peut dire, moi quand je me regarde dans la glace, j'aime toujours ce que je regarde?
Ça m'est déjà arrivé un jour, je me lève un matin, je me dis c'est bon, je vais marcher. Ah non, ça c'est dans les films. Non, j'ai essayé, je suis tombé.
J'ai découvert un tas de choses dans le sport. C'était ma force de vivre. J'ai été champion paralympique, certes, j'en fais pas une fierté, mais j'en fais un petit peu un honneur. Parce que c'est quand même pas mal.
It felt like I was grieving the version of myself that I knew and the life that I thought I was going to have. And I had to learn to embrace and accept this new person that I now was. I touch everything. It's how I experience the world around me. I always say that my hands are my eyes.
J'ai appris que mon corps, en fait, il est comme ça. Moi, je l'aime bien, il est beau.
Finalement, j'ai pris confiance en moi. Et ce qui est très étonnant, c'est que j'ai beaucoup plus confiance en moi maintenant, alors que je réponds peut-être certainement moins aux diktats que nous impose la société.
J'ai un corps qui a survécu. Alors en effet, il ressemble plus au code. Il ressemble plus au code de féminité, mais pour moi, c'est le plus fort et le plus beau. En fait, il est plus fort et plus beau qu'il n'a jamais été, pour moi.
Je ne pensais pas qu'on pouvait diriger un corps comme je l'ai fait. Parce que je l'ai dirigé. Le but, c'est de se convaincre qu'on est capable de faire ça.
Genre quand une fille m'a montré que mon corps ne dérangeait vraiment pas, après je pense que ça a fait le déclic. Je peux même me balader en slip dehors, moi ça me dérange pas. Là, mon corps, là, c'est mon pote.
I'm somebody who loves fashion. A lot of sighted people think of fashion and they think of the color and they think of looking at themselves in the mirror in a new outfit and how it makes them look. But I think of it through how it feels. I think of the texture of the fabric, of the quality of the stitching, of the shape.
Les enfants, du coup, je les embrasse parce qu'en fait, on a plein de capteurs autour de la bouche autant que sur les mains. Ils aiment pas, hein. Mais on fait autrement.
En fait, moi, je suis quelqu'un qui dédramatise tout. C'est-à-dire que j'utilise mon corps pour faire rigoler les gens. Genre, mon handicap, il attire le regard, ça me met dans la lumière, mais mon caractère va avec.
Moi qui étais de nature un peu plus discrète, c'est vrai que quand tout le monde te regarde, il y a un moment tu l'acceptes et t'avances avec et finalement tu te rends compte que ça peut être un gros avantage.
You can't escape living in your body.
Faut pas le maltraiter, faut le respecter.
Si je pourrais le vanner tous les jours, faire un one-man show rien que sur lui, je le ferais.
Tu peux pas danser, t'as pas de pied, danse à genoux. Et ça, je pense qu'on peut faire ça à l'infini, en fait, avec tous les handicaps.
Je pense que c'est aussi un travail corporel, mais qui se passe aussi un peu plus haut, au niveau cérébral.
En fait, on est illimité dans ce qu'on peut faire.
Golden image on the bottom of the Luxor obelisk is showing how it was actually put into place, how a support system can make what seems impossible happen. And we move into another section talking about ability.
been in my head for so long, I've told. They told me these words I can remember. It keeps going on and on. They keep beating on and on my face. They keep telling I'm a liar. Babe, it's not my fault, I build these layers. I can't meet myself. What about my own ability? What the hell is wrong with my body? Am I not enough? Who gives you the power to animals? Who gives you the power to animals? What's wrong with you? Baby, baby, do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby, baby, do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby, baby. My flesh to gel my soul. I just feel like I can fall. My mouth says no child than no. And my hair is way too long. And what about my voice? What about my voice? Do you think I sound? Do I cry as you do? Do I kiss as you do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby, baby, do I come as you do? Do I kiss as you do? Do I love as you do? Sorry, babe, what's the difference? I can move as you do. And if you let me do, I'll make this show for you. Watch me, baby, what about my own ability? What the hell is wrong with my body? Am I not enough? Or even too much? It would be short-sighted trying. Is it coming to your mind that I do care? To be a man.
Love with the choir and orchestra of the Ensemble Mathieu's.
When I saw how sport is accepted by the paralyzed, it was a logical sequel to start a sports movement.
The Paralympic movement can trace its origins to 1948 and the sporting events organised through the Spinal Injuries Hospital at Stoke Mandeville in England under the initiative of Sir Ludwig Guttmann.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever si vous le pouvez pour l'hymne national de la France.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able for the national anthem of France.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez accueillir Tony Estanguet, président du comité d'organisation des Jeux Olympiques et Paralympiques de Paris, et Andrew Parsons, président du comité international paralympique.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tony Estanguet, President of the Paris Organizing Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games, and Andrew Parsons, President of the International Paralympic Committee.
Chers athlètes, chers amoureux des Jeux en France et
Dear
partout dans le
athletes, dear
monde,
lovers of the Games in France and around the
au
world,
pays de l'amour et de la révolution.
welcome to the country of love and the country of
Rassurez-vous, ce
revolution.
soir, pas de prise de la Bastille.
Tonight is
pas
the
de
start of the most beautiful
Car ce
of all
soir
revolutions,
débute la
the
plus belle
Paralympic
des révolutions,
revolution.
la révolution paralympique. Ce soir, les révolutionnaires,
Tonight,
c'est vous, chers
the
athlètes.
revolutionaries are you,
De
the
vos ancêtres
athletes.
au bonnet phrygien, vous avez le panache et l'audace. Des
Like
révolutionnaires
our
du monde
ancestors
entier,
with their Frisian
vous
caps,
avez
you
le
have
courage
panache
et la
and audacity.
détermination.
Like all the revolutionaries around the
Vous
world,
battez
you
pour
have
une
courage
cause qui vous
and
dépasse.
determination.
Mais vos armes à vous, ce sont les performances. Vos armes à vous, ce sont les records.
Like them,
Vos
you're
armes à
fighting
vous,
for a cause that
ce
is
sont
bigger
les
than you.
émotions du sport. Même si vos histoires de vie sont toutes singulières, on vous a souvent fait la liste de tout ce que vous ne pouviez pas faire.
In your case, your weapons are your performances, your weapons are your records,
Et ce jour-là, vous
your
avez su
weapons
que le
are the
sport,
emotions
lui,
of sport.
ne vous mettrait aucune limite. Ce jour-là, vous avez su qu'il ne vous enfermerait dans aucune case. Comme tous les athlètes, vous vous êtes entraînés, vous avez sué, vous avez échoué.
Even if
et
all
vous
your
vous êtes
life stories
relevés.
are unique, you have
Et vous
often
êtes
lived with people
devenus
listing
les
all the
immenses
things you are
champions
unable to
qui
do.
nous font l'honneur d'être avec nous ce soir.
Until the day you first entered a sports club.
Ce qui fait de vous des révolutionnaires, c'est que quand on vous a dit non, vous avez continué. Quand on vous a dit handicap, vous avez répondu performance. Quand on vous a dit que c'était impossible, vous l'avez fait. Et ce soir, vous nous invitez à vous rejoindre pour mener ensemble cette révolution
They said it was impossible, you did it,
Ce soir,
and
vous nous
tonight you're
invitez
inviting us to join you in
changer
this
de regard,
Paralympic revolution.
à changer d'attitude, à changer de société, pour enfin donner toute sa place à chacun. Parce que quand le sport va commencer, on ne verra plus des femmes et des hommes avec un handicap. On vous verra vous, on verra des champions. Avec vous, on va revivre ce que le sport a de plus beau. On
With
sera
you,
comme
we
des
are going to
gosses
relive all the
quand
most
vous serez sur
beautiful
la ligne de
things that
départ.
sport has to offer.
On sera comme des coachs quand viendra la balle de match.
We will be like
Et on sera comme
kids
des
when
fous
you're on the start
quand
line.
vous franchirez la ligne d'arrivée.
We will be like coaches
Comme
when
avec
it gets
les
to
athlètes
match point.
olympiques,
We will be
à
wild
chacune de vos
supporters when you
victoires,
cross the finish line.
C'est tout un pays qui sera fier ensemble. Mais votre force, c'est qu'à chacune de vos victoires, c'est aussi tout un
With
pays
the
qui va
Olympians,
changer.
each of your victories will make an entire
chacune de vos
country
victoires,
proud, but your power is
grâce à
such
vous,
that each
le
of your
monde va
victories
progresser.
will also make a whole
Parce que
country
chacune
change.
des émotions que vous allez nous faire vivre portera en elle un message qui, lui, ne s'effacera jamais. Vous n'avez aucune limite.
Every emotion
Alors,
that you make us
arrêtons de
feel
vous en
will
mettre.
carry a message that
C'est
will
ça,
never be
la
forgotten.
révolution paralympique. Une révolution douce, mais qui va changer chacune et chacun d'entre nous en profondeur et pour toujours.
You have no
Une
limits,
révolution
so
individuelle.
let us stop imposing
Mais
limits
avec
on
une
you. That is the
portée universelle.
Paralympic revolution.
Un changement soudain. Le 9 septembre, nous nous réveillerons différents. Il y a peu d'événements capables de rendre le monde meilleur. Les Jeux paralympiques ont ce pouvoir inégalé
There are few
non
events that
seulement
can
de nous
truly
faire
make the
vibrer,
world a better
mais de
place.
nous transformer. Alors ce soir,
The Paralympic
je veux
Games have this
remercier
unrivaled power
le
not
Comité
only to thrill us but also to
international
transform
paralympique et son
us.
président, Andrew Parsons. Merci
So tonight
de
I
nous
want to
donner
thank
cette
the International
opportunité
Paralympic
unique
Committee,
de révolutionner
President Andrew
notre façon
Parsons.
de
Thank you
voir
for
le
giving
monde.
us this unique opportunity to
J'aimerais aussi
revolutionize the way
tous
we
les
see the
acteurs
world.
publics et privés qui ont permis à cette révolution paralympique de commencer. Merci, Monsieur le Président de la République, Madame la maire de Paris, Madame la Présidente du Comité paralympique et sportif français, Madame la Ministre des Sports et des Jeux olympiques et paralympiques, Madame la Présidente de la région Île-de-France, Messieurs les Présidents de la métropole du Grand Paris et du département de la Seine-Saint-Denis, Mesdames et Messieurs les représentants du sport français et international, chers partenaires,
Ladies and gentlemen,
merci à tous
representatives of French
de
and
votre
international
engagement.
sport,
Merci d'avoir mis toute votre
thank you for your
passion
commitment,
et votre ambition dans
putting
ce
all your
projet.
passion and ambition into this project.
Et merci à ce public
Thank you to this
complètement
frenzied
fou
public that we discovered this summer and that
qu'on a
is back with us
découvert
this
cet
evening.
été et qui est à nouveau au rendez-vous ce soir. Chers amoureux des Jeux, chers supporters des Bleus, ce n'est pas fini. On va encore vivre des moments dingues. Ce n'est pas fini. Nos athlètes tricolores ont encore besoin de vous. Alors j'espère que vous êtes chauds, parce que ce soir, l'équipe de France est de retour et elle est prête à battre tous les records. Chers athlètes français, vous attendez ce moment depuis toujours et vous allez avoir le plus beau des publics pour vous porter jusqu'au podium. Ils ont répété leurs chants, maquillé leurs joues, préparé leurs drapeaux. Ils vont vous faire sentir la force de tout un pays derrière vous. Dear athletes of the world, these fans will be here for you too. You are 4,400 Paralympians here in Paris. You represent 168 delegations. You are the best para-athletes on the planet. You inspire us. Yes, but inspiration needs action. So like you, we are determined to give everything, our heart, our soul, and the very best of France. Breathtaking venues, unprecedented ceremonies, and an atmosphere as crazy as your collective achievements. We have the best team. The Paris 2024 has been working for years to welcome you. We have the best volunteers. And they are ready. They are ready to make this the most fun and festive revolution that France has ever seen. We have even the best weather tonight. And above all, you will find an entire country in love with the Games, which is so proud to host you for the very first time. It is the best return march in history that is starting tonight. Chers athlètes, chers révolutionnaires de France et du monde entier, notre révolution commence ce soir. Bienvenue aux Jeux paralympiques de Paris 2024.
A revolution begins now. Welcome to the Paralympic Games of Paris 2024.
President of the French Republic, Emmanuel Macron, Paralympic athletes, Mayor Anne Hidalgo, President of Paris 2024 Organizing Committee, cher ami Tony Estanguet, Peuple de France, sport fans all over the world, welcome to the most transformational sport event on earth, the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. We are here in the world's most beautiful city, at one of the most critical times in our recent history. At a time of growing global conflict, increasing hate, and rising exclusion, let sport be the social glue that brings us together. Here at the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games, we will celebrate what makes us different, show there is strength in difference, there is beauty in difference, and that difference serves as a powerful force for good. Pour le peuple de France, je veux que ce jour soit le vôtre. 11 days of sensational sport to enjoy together, as families, with friends, with loved ones. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to champion your country's rich diversity, applaud awe-inspiring athletes, and celebrate the very best of Paris, France, and humanity. As we prepare for Games Wide Open, let us open our minds wide. For what you witness from Paralympic athletes are abilities and skills that surprise you, levels of resilience and determination that energizes you, and camaraderie that will inspire you. Paralympic athletes are not here to participate. No, sir. They are not playing games. They are here to compete, win, and smash world records. But Paralympians are also here to achieve something far greater than personal glory. They want equality and inclusion for themselves and for the world's 1.3 billion persons with disabilities. Through their performances, Paralympic athletes will challenge stigma, alter attitudes, and redefine the limits of what you think is possible. The Paris 2024 Paralympic Games will show that persons with disabilities what they can achieve at the highest level when the barriers to succeed are removed. The fact that these opportunities largely exist only in sport in the year 2024 is shocking. Is it proof? It is proof that we can and must do more to advance disability inclusion, whether on the field of play, in the classroom, concert hall, or the boardroom. That is why 25 years on from when Place de la Concorde was central to the French Revolution, I hope, my cher ami Tony, that Paris 24 starts a Paralympic revolution, the inclusion revolution. Tonight, the values that define French society carry stronger meaning than ever before. Liberté, the right to live freely and without oppression. Égalité, every person with a disability deserves the opportunity to thrive and live life free from barriers, free from discrimination, and free from marginalization. Fraternité, we are one, but we are not the same. We are all from the same family, humanity. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. Paralympians, these are the moments you live for. This is your stage to shine. Representing 168 delegations, the biggest number ever, you arrive here with remarkable stories of perseverance. At these games, I look forward to witnessing incredible sport and reading stories about your outstanding abilities and performances. As you compete in the most iconic sport venues ever seen, show to the world that Paralympic athletes should be acknowledged, celebrated, rewarded, but above all, respected. Through the power of sport, let us show world leaders that unity is possible, that we can come together as rivals in peace, play by the rules, and positively impact society. Marchons, marchons. Vive la France! Vive la révolution de l'inclusion! Merci beaucoup! Thank you very much! Muito obrigado! It is now my honor to invite the President of the French Republic, Mr. Emmanuel Macron, to declare open the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games.
Merci. Merci à tous les deux. Merci
à nos athlètes, à nos artistes, à nos volontaires, à vous tous et toutes ce soir, ça ne fait que commencer. Alors je proclame les Jeux paralympiques de Paris 2024 ouverts.
I loved fashion, I loved makeup, I loved hair, I loved home decor and art and tattoos. I loved all forms of creativity and self-expression. After I went blind, it felt like everybody else was treating me differently. Random people I would meet at a cafe or on the streets would talk to my mom or my dad instead of talking to me. They would almost act like I was stupid or not aware. And I think that it's important to show the world how normal I am, to humanize disability. We are like you. We just live our lives in a slightly different way, and there's nothing wrong with that.
J'accepte cette part de visibilité. C'est peut-être l'occasion aussi de créer des connexions et de faire bouger des choses. Et des fois, c'est dur aussi d'expliquer un quotidien que tu vis pas. Il faut rester très pédagogue et il faut être beaucoup dans le self-control de ses émotions par rapport au fait que les choses vont très lentement. Il y a encore du travail et je pense qu'il faut nous écouter. Il faut venir nous chercher.
Des fois, je me sens belle, des fois, je me sens moche, des fois, je me sens forte, des fois, je me sens faible, comme avant, et comme tout le monde. Je vois dans la rue souvent, ça fait un peu peur. Les amputés se sont tellement cachés parce qu'il y a quelque chose dans l'inconscient, l'amputation, c'est glauque, ça fait peur. Voilà, moi je peux pas dire que je me serais pas regardée comme une bête curieuse si j'avais croisé quelqu'un comme moi il y a 4 ans. Mais je me dis, bah tant mieux, comme ça il m'a vu, ça fait une image de plus dans sa tête qui fait que peut-être le prochain il regardera moins bizarre.
Everywhere I go, people stare and they point. Because for so long, our community was hidden away from the world. They were taught to ignore us. People didn't want to talk to me because they didn't want to say the wrong thing. I would rather people ask me a question and I can tell them the truth. And I think it's so important to educate society.
Venir nous chercher, c'est nous donner la possibilité de rendre les lieux accessibles. Tu rends accessible pour une personne en fauteuil, tu la rends accessible pour une personne âgée. Finalement, quand tu rends quelque chose accessible, tu le rends accessible pour tout le monde. T'as beaucoup de personnes qui n'ont pas accès à un niveau d'études supérieur, donc à une émancipation financière, pour la simple et bonne raison qu'ils n'ont pas les qualifications qui leur permettent d'accéder peut-être à certains postes. Et finalement, j'ai des fois le sentiment que c'est le serpent qui se mord la queue. Comment on arrive finalement à se rendre visible et comment aussi on arrive à intéresser les gens, à se poser les bonnes questions et à être des alliés pour nous, parce qu'on en a besoin. La société a fait corps ensemble et d'ailleurs c'est une bonne citation, on fait corps ensemble et on a besoin en fait de s'entraider, de s'écouter et aussi rappeler que le handicap, tout le monde peut être concerné du jour au lendemain. Et à un moment, il faut arrêter de se cacher, quoi.
In this grand choreographed show, it's difficult to tell if you're watching a dance performance, a sports game, or an art piece. The performance features the two main groups we've met before.
But when you get the chance to step up and race, it's just go time. Go time.
In this new setting, they come together, blending dance and sport and art into a fictional game that highlights teamwork, where people with and without disabilities invent new sports in which everyone can participate.
If you start thinking about it, just stop. Don't even consider it.
If there's something you really want to fight for, you can turn any defeat into the greatest victory.
recognise Musa Motha, South African dancer. He's won international awards and multiple television plaudits, and is quite simply a stupendous dancer.
Simply astonishing artistic achievement in this Paralympic opening ceremony. How could you not be moved by what we've seen and heard?
It's good. Victory ceremony, post-game.
The athleticism of the performance or the power of their message.
Le drapeau paralympique.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Paralympic flag.
Amazing delivery from Paralympic medal-winning astronaut John McFall.
Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever si vous le pouvez pour l'hymne paralympique.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand if you're able for the Paralympic anthem.
Mesdames et messieurs, le serment paralympique.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paralympic oath.
Au
nom des athlètes. Au nom de tous les juges.
Au nom de tous les entraîneurs et officiels. Nous promettons de prendre part à ces Jeux paralympiques en respectant et en suivant les règles et dans l'esprit du fair play.
Nous nous engageons tous à pratiquer un sport sans dopage ni tricherie.
Nous faisons cela pour la gloire du sport et pour l'honneur de nos équipes et
en respect des principes fondamentaux du mouvement paralympique.
Paralympic flame was lit at Stoke Mandeville on the 24th of August. And it's not like any other flame. It's divided into 12 to reflect on the number of days of the Games.
And then launched out across the nation of France, which is fascinating because a lot of the athletes from other countries have come early several weeks ago for training camps, and they didn't always just necessarily come straight to Paris. They went all around the country where they got to feel the Paralympic spirit, maybe feel a little of the heat from the torch as it was making its way towards Paris.
The Paris 2024 torch is a piece of art in its own right, designed to reflect the image of the Games. Creator Frenchman Mathieu Léonard drew inspiration from three themes of Paris 2024: equality, water, and peace. As part of the philosophy, the Olympic and Paralympic Games share the same emblem, mascots, and torch design.
The Paralympic flame, an opportunity to highlight that 15% of the world's population have a disability. That's 1.2 billion people across the globe. Huge support across France for the relay, which is nearing its end. So the flame that was split returns to the capital city. Sébastien Tellier, and this is La Ritournette. There's L.
Laurent Manodou, captain of the torch relay and first torchbearer in France, with the arrival of the flame in Marseille in May, carrying the flame to Place de la Concorde. Winner of 2 bronze medals at the Paris 2024 Games, helping establish the link between Olympics and Paralympics.
Had the pleasure of being in La Défense Arena when he won those medals to an absolutely electric 17,000 in the stadium. And he's won 6 medals for France, and that is a record. He is quite a character in and out of the pool. Comes from a family of athletes. Second torchbearer, Michael Jeremez, the wheelchair tennis star for France. Doubles champion in Beijing in 2008 with Stéphane Houdet. Quadruple medalist at the Paralympic Games. He was a flag bearer in Rio in 2016. He's head of the French delegation for these games.
We hear the Bolero, composed by Maurice Ravel, the arrangement by Victor Lemons. The flame ready to move on. Michael Jeremias passing it on to Baby Vio to celebrate the international stars of the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games. And what a shining light she is. 4 medals at the Paralympics already. A double title holder in foil. She is the star of the Rising Phoenix movie, parafencer. And we saw her dazzling on the catwalk in the rain at the opening ceremony of Paris 2024 for the Olympics. Part 1, we should say. She's here in Paris to try and get a 3rd consecutive individual title. What a magnificent ambassador for sport she is.
video passes on to Oksana Masters of the United States. 17 Paralympic medals in 4 different para sports. Rowing, cross-country skiing, biathlon and paracycling. Oksana, originally from Ukraine, defending the colours of the United States. The life philosophy, if we dream, we can achieve. Embodying the resilience of the Paralympic Games.
Not a daily, everyday occurrence to see a double above-knee amputee be able to walk as well as she can, or even be able to walk at all. Some can't, and she is an incredible example of how to use technology with athleticism and poise. One of the stars of the games as well, from Germany, Marcus Rem, already a 3-time Paralympic long jump champion in 3 appearances, on track for a 4th. His world record in the long jump is 8.72 meters. That is just shy of the great Mike Powell's record for Olympic athletes. He has used hard work, dogged determination, talent like any other athlete, but blended them with incredible technology, using prosthetics better than anyone has ever done so before in the history of Paralympic sport.
So the tribute to the international athletes who'll be competing at Paris 2024 moves on. And the flame heads towards French legends. Making its way towards the cauldron, where it will burn for the entirety of the Paralympic Games. Tuileries Ball in the distance, a familiar sight at the Olympic Games, ready to resume its duty in the skies above the City of Light. Into the Jardin of the Tuileries, where Asia El Hanoui stands waiting, the most successful French para-athlete in para-athletics. 8 titles, including an exceptional quadruple in Athens in 2004, winning the 100, 200, 400 and 800 metres. She has a total of 10 medals. Was flag bearer for Les Bleus in Beijing in 2008.
Of the world on Asia El Hanoui, as she now passes the baton to the most successful French male and then female athletes of all time, Olympic and Paralympic Games combined. This is Christian Lachaud, the most successful male Paralympic athlete in France. 10 gold medals in wheelchair fencing, 14 medals in total, won between 1976 and 2000.
And the pass from Christian Lachaud to Beatrice Hess, the most successful, most decorated French athlete, Olympic, Paralympic, Summer and Winter Games combined, with 26 medals, including 20 titles. Beatrice is also the second most successful athlete of all time at the Summer Paralympic Games, behind the American swimmer Tricia Zorn.
And so the baton is passed to the 2024 generation, the greatest French athlete of the Paralympic Games, passing the baton to athletes of the new generation. And it's not going to be just one athlete lighting the cauldron, but 5. Closest to the camera, Alexis Anquinon, 6-time world champion, 6-time European champion, reigning Paralympic champion in para-triathlon and flag bearer for the French delegation.
And joining him, Nantanen Keita, Paralympic champion in Rio in the 400 meters, 4 times Paralympic medalist. Nantanen is also flag bearer for the French delegation. She was also the 2nd relay runner in the Olympic relay in France, in Marseille, just after Florent Monadou. Ready to participate in her 5th consecutive Paralympic Games.
The music has changed to Sunrise by Ravel from Daphne and Chloe.
Alexis and Nantanen will be passing the flame across to Charles-Antoine Kouakou, reigning Paralympic champion in the 400 meters T20 category. Also, Elodie Lorandi, Paralympic champion in London 2012. Para swimming, 400 freestyle S10. And Fabien Lamoureux, most successful French athlete at the Summer Paralympic Games in the French delegation, with 4 titles in para table tennis, 6 medals in total. Five of the best for France. Ring of fire, 7 meters in diameter, topped by a balloon 30 meters high. Paralympic Games take flight.
Isn't it good to be alive? Morning after morning, the sun rises up and you hope again. You hope again. Isn't it good to feel alive? Above everything, bring the heart in. Born for more is what we are. Born to feel more is what we are made of. I want to feel the music louder, brighter, louder. Justice for love and freedom. Justice for the flesh and electricity Call for more.
Well, the show has been so good, we don't really want it to end, but it's getting towards that moment. As the performers thank the crowd, the athletes Focus starts to turn towards competition.
Mesdames et messieurs, merci d'être venus à la cérémonie d'ouverture. Nous espérons que vous avez passé une soirée mémorable. Nous vous souhaitons un bon retour et de profiter des Jeux paralympiques de Paris 2024.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the opening ceremony. We hope you had a memorable evening. We wish you a safe journey home and hope you enjoy the Paris 2024 Paralympic Games.
We've got a few moments to reflect on what we've seen and what it means, and I think the highlight has to be the call from the heart, a call for action really from Andrew Parsons, the sheer passion in his speech as he's urging people to think and act, and the depth of his feeling was obvious.
A really thought-provoking opening ceremony and so beautiful, aided by a fantastic stage of the background of Paris. And preparing for these games as we do as a commentator, language becomes very different when you're starting to find the right words to explain what's happening. But I think this performance showed us that being thoughtful and thinking about stuff can make things much easier.
I love tonight's show. I thought it was creative, fun, it was inspiring. It was very different than the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, but I wouldn't want it any other way. Maybe that's what made it so great for me. And I look forward to seeing the Paralympic revolution in action as it plays out over the next, 12 days and onward.
Well, we hope you've enjoyed the performances and the powerful messages embedded in the storylines. For those with an appetite for change around disability, there's food for thought in what we've seen, but now it's over to the athletes to showcase their sporting abilities, their turn to shine in front of what we know will be big, noisy, appreciative audiences. And we hope to have you along as part of the fun as well. But for now, it's bonsoir from Paris.